So you might have seen my last video and everybody's been real excited about Jay Powell's speech, right? In fact, I would personally recommend everybody to do their research on his speech where you can kind of like get the tone, whether he's hawkish or dovish, right? But that's neither here nor there. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Jasmy, what needs to happen for Jasmy to explode. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and keep your favorite crypto and door-to-door entrepreneur inside the algorithms. Now, don't get too wrapped up into the FOMO. And again, when things get like bearish, don't get too wrapped up into the doom and gloom, right? We don't trade the news. We let the news do what it does, and we pay attention to the data, as Jay Powell would say. As you can see here, one of the comments were, and this is from Ali Banks, he says, he's still not convinced yet. Shifting balance of risk may warrant adjusting our policy stance. So may warrant, right? Just paying attention to some of the key words in his speech there. But again, not really per se worrying about what Jay Powell is talking about, because at some point we know we will get a Fed cut. What I'm personally paying attention to is the strength of the market going into the weekend, and specifically Ethereum. Ethereum has finally crossed our green line, but that doesn't mean anything unless we can get a confirmation candle next week above this green line. So yes, we're above the green line now, but we need confirmation. And I believe when ETH starts to show confirmation that it is headed to uncharted territory, meaning all-time highs, aka price discovery, you're going to start to see a lot of altcoins going ballistic. In fact, I can just go to my watch list and show you an example. You can actually see my watch list here on the left-hand side of the screen, but you can see most of the things on the Ethereum chain. This is the ETH chain, by the way. Some of the things that I'm watching are in the greens. Pretty good day for ETH coins. And as you know, Jasmy is a ERC20 token, and you know, a lot of the liquidity will roll into the top 100 first before we see that liquidity rotation running into the smaller market caps like tokens from the others chart, right? So again, ETH is big dog right now. As long as ETH can enter price discovery and print a confirmation candle, we could see a step in the right direction. It's important to note we're still in QT. So as somebody was said, as my boy Hall of Fame said in the last video in the comments, he said hopium is at what he said, hopium is at all-time highs or something like that. But he was just like, you know, it's real, right? We got to manage, but we also need to understand that we do have nice good move here above our ultimate RSI indicator. We did cross over the orange line and we're showing green strength, which is historically bullish for the ETH chart. Now, we got ETH out the way, right? And we know the total 3 as well is above the ultimate RSI line and showing bullish momentum. I wouldn't look too much into the stock RSI because you might look at the stock RSI and say, hey, Millie, a lot of this stuff is overbought. And that is true. And this is why a lot of people are predicting a crash sometime in September, because they're looking at the global M2 and anticipating it to do what? To bring down risk on assets, right? Because the liquidity starts to come down. Now, the total 3 is looking very juicy. You can see we got a shoulder here, head here, and another shoulder. But we haven't quite confirmed and validated this inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? This is a very bullish pattern as long as we can print a confirmation candle above this white line. So you can see everything that I say is consistent, right? I'm not changing my thesis. I'm just going off what I'm seeing, and I'm sticking to the game plan. The game plan is, as long as we're above this orange line on the ultimate RSI, technically, historically, historically, we have been bullish, and this is a very, very, very bullish pattern here. Now, last but not least, we need to check out Jasmy, because the Bitcoin dominance is capitulating, and this is a sign that we could be entering the realm of an altcoin season. You can see right here, capitulation on the ultimate RSI equals capitulation on the price action here with the Bitcoin dominance. Well, not really price action, but the percentage action here with the Bitcoin dominance, right? And it looks a little bit extended than the last 2 corrections that we've seen. On top of that, the last 2 corrections weren't able to print confirmation candles. Let me zoom in for the bears. Confirmation candles here below the Bitcoin dominance. So again, stop flooding your bags, start running yourself out the market, and just pay attention to this. Is simple. This is simple. This, matter of fact, This is what y'all been asking for the last 8 years. Y'all been in the comments saying, Millie, we ain't seen altcoin season. We gotta see Bitcoin dominance. We gotta see ETH go perfectly up to the sideways and up to the right and enterprise discovery. The shit happening right now, and y'all still bearish. So my thing is, a lot of people is going to miss this move and they're going to buy the top of the move. And we are already in this move. So congrats to everybody that's been following this channel. Guys, let's freaking print. Also, Jasmy, right? Because this is what this video is about, right? And salute to anybody that's still here. Jasmy here, right, is still not quite there. You can see on the ultimate RSI, we're still showing a little bit of bearish momentum here, right? It's not quite green like we've seen here. But what do we know from the history of the charts and the history of an Ethereum breakout? Jasmy historically follows, and I don't think it's going to be different this time. ETH broke out here, Jasmy followed. ETH broke out here, Jasmy followed. ETH is breaking out again, and I can assume that Jasmy will enter, well, not enter price discovery, but we need to get above these moving averages, right? So we're staring here at the 50-day moving averages, which sits perfectly at the 618. Nothing has changed. We need to print confirmation candles above 2 pennies. If we get rejected at 2 pennies, people are going to be pissed off, whatever. I don't care. We're still above the ultimate RSI here on our indicator. So Jasmy, in my opinion, is not quite bullish like ETH, but we're waiting for that liquidity rotation from ETH into altcoins. And I frankly don't think that will happen unless we see some improvements from the Fed and any type of hint that we're going to end QT, right? But remember, if the Fed doesn't end QT and the global M2 starts to correct, this could be a false rally. So I want to put that out there for anybody that think that Millie is just being moon boy. I'm not. I'm paying attention to the data. You can call me Crypto Millie Powell, J Powell, son. You feel me? Like, I'm just looking at the data and regurgitating the information to you guys. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So Jasmy personally has a lot of work to do, right? We need to see more volume. We need to get above these moving averages, and we need to print confirmation candles above the 618, which is sitting here roughly at 2 pennies. We are not there yet. It's important to note we could get rejected, right? We can get rejected on Monday. We can start pumping for the week and then get rejected and just have a massive fucking dump on Monday because everybody gets too euphoric on the weekend. So we're going to stay balanced. We're going to stay level-headed, and we're going to understand where we are at in this point of the market. Jasmy is starting to get the engine rolling, right? He's like you trying to load up a fucking lawnmower and you just like, and it's just not cutting on, right? Soon, ETH, you know what I'm saying? You put a little bit of that ETH gas, that ETH gas 99 in it, it's going to start revving. And when it's revving, I think Jasmy is going to do well. A few things. It has utility and use case. It's embedded in the top narrative in crypto, which is artificial intelligence and data. And they have a proven team. Not to add, it's listed on top exchanges. So when the liquidity comes into crypto, they come into the exchanges first. And this has the feel of a utility token with a meme type of community. It gets a lot of social engagement, similar to the XRPs and the ZBCN. So to all my Jasmy fam out there, stay strong. We're not quite there yet. We're going to get there. I did purchase a little bit of Jasmy. I don't know if it was last week or I DC, and I let the Patreon know I did DC into Jasmy. So I did get a little bit more Jasmy here on in that super red day, that super correction red day, right? I bought a couple tokens, but I did buy Jasmy. So guys, let me know where you think the market. Are we going up? Is this a false rally? Will we get any rate cuts this for the rest of the year? I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Check out all my socials, and keep your boy Crypto Millie in the algorithms. I'll see you in the next one.